All right. So I promised you some news. I can't say everything about it, but I've got a couple of sources talking to me about an absolutely explosive economic development story that is about to drop next week that will involve the entire state of Tennessee and more specifically the Metro Nashville area. I'll tell you everything I can after we have a great conversation with Senator Marsha Blackburn. Senator Blackburn joins us on the Murphy Show hotline. Always good opportunity to catch up with her and find out what's going on from her perspective in Washington, D.C. Senator, good afternoon. Welcome in.
Well, thank you for having me back on. And yes, indeed, we've been busy up here. And I told President Trump on Friday night when we were over at the White House, I said, we are not tired of winning. Keep it coming.
Well, I mean,
like the fact, yeah.
I have characterized, Senator, the first 6 months of the Trump second term, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic or overstate it. I don't know of another second term that has been better than what we've experienced in just 6 months. What about you?
I agree with that. You know, he truly was, he felt so called to this after the assassination attempt in Butler. And he has come into office determined not to waste a single day, a single hour, single minute. And he continues to push forward with executive orders. He's making certain that we are filing bills and moving forward with those components. We have put the foundation in place for the economic agenda by passing the big, beautiful bill. We are reducing federal spending by pushing forward with the rescissions, and we are beginning appropriations this week. And what you're going to see is some of those appropriation bills are going to actually come in at 10%, 20% less than what they were spending last year. Here's the thing. It is important for us to do this so we get on a Trump budget and Trump numbers and get off of a Biden budget or a Biden budget CR.
Mm-hmm. Oh, amen. I could not agree more. I want to talk about the future rescission bill that we've heard about today. Before we look forward, though, Senator, I want to look backward just a little bit, and I think this is very important. Our Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, released information this past Friday, and it confirms what many of us, and I would believe yourself included, believed happened, but now we have receipts about what happened after Donald Trump was elected president of the United States in 2016. In November, December, and even into January of that year, apparently the apparatus of our intelligence of the state, the Department of Justice, FBI, and other means were used against the incoming president. And I just want you to speak to this. And a lot of our listening audience in Middle Tennessee want to know, well, what should be done about this if it is determined that, for example, Clapper or Brennan lied to Congress, or if it is determined that this was an actionable result of a White House meeting. What do you say about it, and where do you think all of this goes, Senator?
Yes, and first of all, I think that it truly is appalling. This is unprecedented. We've never seen anything like this. And you're right that D&I Gabbard brought forward 100 documents. So people can't say, well, that's anecdotal or hearsay. No, the documents were filed with the Department of Justice, and it details how the Obama administration really laid the groundwork for the Russia collusion hoax. They manufactured this. Now, in laying that groundwork, they knew that Hillary Clinton was concocting this dossier or having the dossier concocted. And they still moved forward with this, going to brief President Trump. And they knew at that time that all of this was manufactured, that it was not something that had been a form of intelligence. So with that said, I have to tell you, Matt, I think what you will see is there will be some indictments. I expect that there are prosecutions. Anyone who weaponized the government against a political appointment or a political opponent and pushed to carry out this conspiracy, they should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law.
Well, let's certainly hope as the information continues to come out. I know that Congress will do its due diligence, do its oversight, and the Department of Justice, let us hope, will do their jobs as well. You brought up the big, beautiful bill, now the big, beautiful law. And I had my concerns, Senator. I know you did too, because it does spend at levels that I think it would create additional money going to the debt, going to the national deficit over the 10-year term. I was comforted when I saw the rescission bill come along. So I would ask you, give us your overall thoughts about spending in the big, beautiful bill. The good, I believe, outweighs the bad, and I think most Americans agree with that. But, I mean, I love seeing the rescission because this is the pullback on spending that I think fiscal conservatives are looking for.
Well, you're right. And on the big, beautiful bill, actually, CBO, who's always rung on their numbers and said this was going to add $3 trillion to the debt, came back after the bill was passed and said, well, actually, it will cut the deficit by $450 billion. So even they admit that it is going to have the effect of reducing the deficit and the debt. So that was the good news. Now, the rescission bills, this is how we cut into the discretionary spending. And we got the first one through, and everybody knows we took care of defunding on the Corporation for Public Broadcast and programs like vegan food in Zambia and voter ID in Haiti, and those programs that needed to come out of USAID. So all that's done. And rescissions is basically taking a red ink pen, drawing a line through spending, and it is a one-year action that multiplies over the 10-year life of that budget. So a $9 billion cut becomes a $90 billion savings over a 10-year period of time. Now, the next rescission bill that is on its way to us is going to deal with some of the defunding that is necessary for closing down the U.S. Department of Education and other domestic programs. You know, there are a lot of programs that are duplicative. And you look at some of these Department of Commerce programs, there may be 8 different programs that deal with a certain form of grants and things. And so this is all simplification. But what it will do, we will have the opportunity to end those programs, and we draw a line through that. And as I said, with the appropriations process, they are even doing appropriations rescissions as they're working on the budget. And some of these items are going to come forward, and they're going to be less. They may be 10 to 20% less than what was actually spent last year. But all of this is going to help get us on a Trump budget and a Trump number and get us off of a Biden budget and a Biden number.
I love it. I love it. I know you only have a couple of minutes left, and I want to hit 2 big topics. One,
sure.
Your bill that goes after certain states, particularly like California is the greatest example, for attempting to obstruct what is clearly a federal prerogative with regard to immigration and customs enforcement. Obviously, the law is on the side of the Trump administration and people that believe that we've allowed our borders to be far too porous. We seem to have solved that border issue, and now we're solving the issue of the criminal element that's currently in the country, getting them back to their countries of origin. Just tell us about that bill real quick.
Well, what we're doing with the bill is what we found out is when you have to call in the National Guard to restore order and public safety to an area, these cities are not reimbursing the Department of Defense. And so the Tennessee taxpayers end up paying for the Guard or the Marines or somebody to have to go into L.A. and protect federal buildings. So this allows the Department of Defense to bill those cities and charge them for the fact that we're having to send in the troops to protect federal property and to protect innocent citizens. So we are working that bill through. It will probably travel with some of our defense authorization and that funding. But the thing is, these cities who are not going to protect their citizens, and you have to call in the troops to protect property and protect people, then they should pay for that. They should be reimbursing the U.S. taxpayer for that.
Thoughts on our president seems to have shifted his tactic regarding Russia, and I applaud it. Here's a man who felt like he could perhaps get Putin to the negotiation table. He now feels like Vladimir Putin has not been an honest actor in how he has communicated with the United States of America. Now he's kind of shifting tactics. Do you support this shifting strategy, and where do you see it going, Senator?
Where we see this going is giving Putin another deadline to get to the negotiating table, or he's going to face tariffs and sanctions. And he right now is selling oil to Brazil, to China. You look at the people that are doing business with them. If they get sanctioned and they're not able to buy that oil, then that begins to starve them of the money that is necessary for them to be able to fund their military. Now, what President Trump has been successful in doing is getting NATO to agree to buy weapons, armaments, and supplies from the U.S. and give those or supply them to Ukraine, sell them to Ukraine. This is not something that the U.S. is giving away, but they will be able to get access to items to protect themselves. And, of course, you've got some of the drones, some of the Patriot missiles, those things that they have needed, and NATO is stepping in to do their part and to help.
Well, Senator, always an informative conversation. We appreciate you spending time with us in Middle Tennessee, speaking to the many, many voters that elected you to the United States Senate. I know that Senate break is scheduled to come up soon. Any big plans for the break, Senator? Any public events or any maybe announcements or anything?
We're going to be in and out around the state. We've got lots of work to do. We've spent a whole lot of time here in D.C., and President Trump is trying to get us to give up the August work period and stay in D.C. and pass some of these nominations. So I'm saying let's work overtime, let's start earlier, let's work later into the evening, and let's get these nominations done so that we can be in our states seeing our citizens during the month of August.
See, Senator you're so seasoned. You're not taking any of Murphy's bait. You're not taking any of my bait here on those questions. Thank you for the time. We appreciate you.
Matt.
We'll talk to you again.
Bye.
All right, take care. She's not doing it. She's not having any of it. You hear me in there? Because, I mean, is the worst. Jackson?
Yes.
It's the worst. It's such a badly kept secret. You probably know.
What's the secret?
Well, ask Weaver what the secret is.
Weaver, what's the secret?
The rumor. What's the rumor about Marsha Blackburn?
Oh, she's going to run for governor.
She's going to run for governor. And see, I feel like if she's going to run for governor, she's got to announce it at some point. And, August recess coming up. So I throw that little August question. You see what I did there, Jared?
I saw what you were doing.
Throw that little August. You got any public events going on?
That's clever, Brother Murphy.
And you see what Marsha did with it? She just swatted it away.
Yeah.
Didn't take any of the bait.
No.
Threw it right back at you.
No,
well, usually, they say something like, well, I'm very busy right now taking care of the American people in my role as a Tennessee U.S. Senator.
That's exactly what she's. Well, we might work through that break, Murphy. You never know what she said. We'll see. We'll see. I'm just, you hear those rumors, and you want to try to get the scoop. 51 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.